Hello everyone, this is Mr. E2099, the Wandering Stranger, and I want to talk to you guys today about some comics that came out this week that I personally really enjoyed. First off, we have Action Comics number 999. We're gearing up for that big issue 1000. Really looking forward to that. And this was just a really great, heartfelt issue. We get to see Lois Lane try and reconnect with her father, General Samuel Lane, and initially it doesn't go very well. They're arguing about an article that Lois wrote years ago that accidentally compromised one of Sam's missions, and John tries to mediate, their disagreement, but he's just a kid, so that's not really helping all that much. We switch to Superman, who is stopping a meteor from hitting the Earth, and he ends up taking some crystals from inside it. Then he returns to the Fortress of Solitude and releases Hank Henshaw, Cyborg Superman, from the Phantom Zone. After an initial fight, Superman traps him in a prison where he explains to Henshaw that he's trying to be more compassionate and not just throw his enemies away. He's trying to rehabilitate them. Henshaw replies that no matter what he does, he's always going to hate Superman. But then Superman gives him a crystal that allows Henshaw to relive his best memories. Henshaw is initially very skeptical of this, but after he sees his wife and friends again, he's really awestruck, and that's kind of the last we see of him in this issue. Superman returns home just in time to stop Samuel Lane from leaving. He convinces him to go back in, and he reintroduces him and Lois and tells them why they should be proud of each other. And then he finally formally introduces him to his grandson, John. And next we see them around the dinner table, and they're talking and laughing, and John's having a moment with his grandfather. It's a really good family moment. And this is what I really like about Superman comics nowadays. You get these really great family moments from them. And this is a book where after you read it, you really feel good inside. And we need more comic books that make us feel that way. We need more books that will give us warm, heartfelt moments like these and remind us of the things that are really important. All right. Next, we have Marvel 2-in-1, The Thing and the Human Torch. Chip Zdarsky is one of the best writers that Marvel Comics has right now. He's one of the reasons that I still read anything from Marvel at all. So in this issue, we see Ben, Johnny, and their new doctor friend head out into the multiverse to find Reed and Sue. They track their cosmic radiation signatures to an alternate Earth, but it turns out that they actually locked on to that world's version of Sue and Reed, not theirs. And we learn more about this world. In this world, Wolverine and She-Hulk are in the Fantastic Four. In this world, Ben Grimm died fighting Galactus, and that kind of just broke Reed Richards. That's something that he never fully recovered from. And he tried to defeat Galactus using force, which did not work at all. And then he had the misfortune of having Dr. Doom save the day, using a psionic technique where he ended up taking control of Galactus' body. And Doom vowed never to devour the Earth, but he ended up devouring everything else in the universe. So it pans out to the Earth, and there's no stars, no other planets. It's just the Earth with this ring around it and the sun. It's really cool to show the scope of the destruction that Doom, with the hunger of Galactus, would cause. And it's really great. We see some good characterization of the alternate Reed Richards. We see everything. We see that how the loss has affected him, and yeah, it's just a really great book. Chip Zdarsky is one of the best writers that Marvel has, which is probably why they signed him to an exclusive deal earlier this week. Really happy to hear that. I really want Zdarsky to continue working at Marvel, so I have things from Marvel that I actually want to read. Uh, Next book is New Superman and the Justice League of China. When this book was announced, I initially thought it was just going to be another SJW title pushing diversity, but it's really not. It's built up its own kind of mythos. It's built up these individual characters that are unique and not just cut and paste copies of their American counterparts. Kong Keenan really started out as a selfish jerk, but he learns more about sacrificing for others and he becomes more heroic and he ends up embodying the balance in the universe between the light and the dark, which is why his Superman S shield is also a yin and yang symbol. We see them pulling from Asian mythologies with their Wonder Woman, who is actually a green serpent spirit. I actually saw a movie, I believe starring Jet Li, about the green and white serpent spirits taking on human form and falling in love with humanity. So, yeah, it's good to see that again. They're building up the team, and we see them doing a North Korean Aquaman in the last couple of issues, and that's pulling from Korean mythology about I believe it's sea dragon. Anyway, it's really cool. The design when he gets his full abilities is also really cool, and I really love that they're trying to pull more from Eastern mythologies, whereas Wonder Woman pulls more from Greek mythology. Yeah, this is a really good book. It's definitely something that I recommend. It's fun. It can be a bit campy at times, but it's really something that you'll enjoy, I believe. Check it out. Next, we have Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man. This has been a consistently good book, I believe, since around issue 3 or 4. We see Spider-Man, his sister Teresa, and J. Jonah Jameson going back in time. They end up encountering the younger Peter Parker, and after some initial confusion, they gain his trust, and when he takes off his mask, J. Jonah Jameson really has this moment where he realizes how young Spider-Man was all those years ago when they were enemies. He realizes that all the things he did with the Spider Slayer program and calling him a menace in the paper, he realized that he was doing all those things to a kid who had lost his uncle and was really trying to figure out life while dealing with these abilities. And he just feels a lot of shame for the way he did it, and a lot of shame for the things that he knows that his other self is going to do in the future. So later in the issue, he goes to his younger self to use the planet's resources not the planet, the Daily Bugle's resources, wrong universe, to try and tack down Tinker. And he tells his younger self that Spider-Man right now is a kid, that he lost his uncle and he's trying to really just deal with that and with these abilities, and that he's doing the best that he can, that he's not a menace, and that he really should just give the kid a break. He also tells him that eventually he will meet his wife, the love of his life, but he's going to do that because of the Spider Slayer program. So he has conflicted feelings about that. He wants his younger self to meet his wife, but he also doesn't want his younger self to go through with the Spider Slayer program. So he's having a real tough time, balancing those things out. And we really see a good humanizing moments from J. Jonah Jameson. Like I said, Chip Zdarsky is an amazing writer. We also get some funny moments from when future, or current rather, Peter Parker teams up with his younger self to take down villains before they become problems for him in the future. And we get to see how his experience has really grown, and he's able to defeat these guys back when they were just starting out so much easier than his younger self would have alone. And it's really great to see. It's kind of funny, but it's really, really good, and I really enjoyed this book. Chip Zdarsky, like I said, really great writer. Yeah, go check out Peter Parker's Spectacular Spider-Man. Lastly, we have Sideways. I wasn't able to find any good cover images for this book, but we have some internal art, and I hope that doesn't get my video flagged. None of these images are owned by me. They're all owned by DC and Marvel Comics. So we see Sideways encountering this being from time and space that's supposed to guard it from rips and distortions, which is why he's a problem with Sideways, because his rifts are causing problems for the space-time continuum. When I think about it, how come he's never done anything to the Flashes? Those guys travel back in time all the time. Anyway, we see Sideways trying to escape, but his staff is preventing him from using his rift abilities. And he does manage to escape, but he gets really banged up, and he goes to his friend Ernestine, the cosplay girl that made him his costume, and she takes him to the hospital, and she also calls his mother, and we get a really great moment with the mother explaining her point of view about what happened during the events of Dark Knight's Metal when they were in Gotham. And it's really great to see how much she cares about her son and how much she worries about him. And unfortunately, the hospital gets attacked by a villain. This villain is a speedster who calls herself Killspeed. By the way she explained it a bit, it seems that her powers also have a negative effect on her. But yeah, she starts attacking the hospital. I believe Sideways' mother gets knocked out, and he tells his friend Ernie to look after his mom while he puts on his mask and goes off to face Killspeed. I don't know how he's going to do it. He's wearing a hospital gown, and his arm is in a sling. So, this could be a tough fight for our boy Sideways, but I'm really looking forward to it. The art is really good. This is art from, I believe his name is Kenneth Rockefort. I really like this guy's art from when he was on Red Hood and the Outlaws. I also liked it in the Ultimates. However, the Ultimates was not that great of a book, despite his artwork. But, yeah, Sideways is a really good book. We're really getting to know more about these characters and developing them as people the more that they get fleshed out through the story. And I'm really looking forward to see the showdown between Sideways and Killspeed. So, yeah, check out Sideways number 3 when it drops. Next, I have a sort of surprise ending. I hope you guys like this. I've never done something like this in a video before, so I hope you will enjoy it. Compassion plus understanding plus assurance plus joy plus altruism divided by respect divided by commendation divided by sympathy times innocence times dignity times success times acceptance. Y equals N, where Y equals despair and N equals caution. Love equals truth. Death equals rebirth. And self equals light side. That, ladies and gentlemen, was the life equation. And after hearing me repeat it, you are now bound to my will. But unlike the anti-life equation, you're going to feel good while you're doing my bidding. So, yeah, my first order, now that you are all my minions, is to like, comment, and subscribe on this video, and to check out others. Uh, yeah. uh, like, comment, and subscribe. And this has been Mr. E2099, your new Supreme Overlord, and I will see you all later.